The Enlightenment Chasers. Royalties of Peace. We are stealing the storms back to peace that has no storm while holding on to perfect peace. It is February 4th of 2026, and this is the Golden Age Podcast, episode 73, on the Enlightenment Future. By Maris Freely Fang. Today, we are reflecting on the Black History Month of this year, 2026, which happens to be February. And today we'll be talking about one of the most greatest influencer of the Black history of the United States of America, who was conceived February 4th of 1913 in Tuskegee, Alabama. And this is no other important personnel but Mama Rosa Parks, celebrating her birthday today, which happens to be a Wednesday, my water day, are refreshing on her beautiful story. Full of enchanted insight, which the youths must understand to travel this road of a color world. United States of America, the multicultural nation of our world, is the miniature of a human world, reminding us that we are one, no matter our diversity. We must recover a true identity of human race than just the color race we ponder upon. The figurative must be interpreted into the plain language for the young ones to understand. Our history of figurative, of parables, must be interpreted into the plain language for the young ones to understand our calling on this road to enlightenment perfect, battlefield free, our journey. Enlightenment perfect is the battlefield free destination we must reach. According to Mama Rosa Parks' story, the most in remembrance of the boss boycott, which happened because of one beautiful work day while returning home In that was on December 1st of 1955. After a long day at work, she boarded her bus to return home. And she sat on the right seat, according to peace walkers, which was the seats that were kept for the black race in the bus. They were given the rule not to sit on the seats of the white race. But what's triggered the boycott is her boycotting the abuse of right. And being a woman very sensitive, there might have been a better approach to express what was actually in plan. It is said that the white section got full. So the first line of the black section was where Mama Rosa Parks was sitting with other two blacks. And because there were other whites coming into the bus driver told them to go to the back so that those whites could sit in the front row of the blacks section. The two blacks actually moved back, but Mama Rosa Parks moved to the side of that first row, which caused the bus driver to get into an argument with her, enforcing her going to the back, or he was going to call the police. 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 The police. When you look at the word police, you could bring out a pole ice, which is the snowman. Ice. Today, 2026, our present world is experiencing a lot of segregation and divisions and dismantling. And when we go back to look at these stories of our ancestors and seniors who had lived before us, who had paved the path, who had eased the journey to comprehend the pondering, the wandering from the dark age to the present age, the golden age, we begin to realize a pattern of revelation, the message behind all of these conflicts, the pondering of the mind in mysterious ways, unexpected, the pressure that comes and frustration that comes with working on our problems while increasing in number at the same time can be very, very complex. We have to really understand where we are today, of our disability, of not reaching the end goal. Where coming alive is resting. Mama Rosa Parks finds herself arrested. But fortunately for her, her three friends bailed her the same next day. That would have been a very, very tough and disappointing moment after a day at work. Might not have been so surprising because there were so many riots at that time over segregation. But we all understand what it's like to have a disruptive day after work. How exhausting it could be for her. It called the attention of Dr. Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. At that time, Mama Rosa Parks was very popular concerning the bus ride, rights, questioning in the first place why blacks should even have their own seat, different from the whites. If it is about a disease, surely there will be no reason for the blacks to move to the back seats. This must be something else. Suppression, depression, trying to make them inferior. But is that really the point? We should be careful what we tell the young children, especially when we understand Dr. Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. expressing the need for our children to become one. I dream, I see the future of my children black, loving on their white brothers and sisters. A bright future is ours to build. Teach them well and let them lead the way, Mama Whitney Houston reminded us. How can we teach the young from this history of boycotts and griefs the parents struggle with? We are not enemies. We are only working on the solution of a problem which our ancestors started with. And today it's growing to its best of solution bringing. How do we express this history of segregation and anger points of our journey to enlightenment, of a battlefield free mind? This dispute of the bus ride led to triggers of the civil rights movement in the United States of America. It triggered the Montgomery bus boycott, led by the Montgomery Improvement Association and Dr. Reverend Martin Luther King Jr., paving the way for the desegregation of the city buses with a red flag of unfair rules, which was supported by the Supreme Court rule. Segregation of buses is not part of our Supreme Court decisions. But what was this after? If you cannot answer the question directly, there will be indirect prompts When you're at the spelling bee and the word is read to you, you ask for prompts to ease the answering of the question. Sure, this is cruel how we treat each other. Neither was the bus driver happy about his experience. No one will want to maltreat another human being if we understand the human race that we are, of expected role models to all subordinates of existence, of higher minds and higher technology developments. Having a boss comes with wisdom. We are not donkeys. Unfair rules is only an awareness of knowledge deficit, which humans struggle with. Not just white, not just black race, but the human race, working at its best to solve its knowledge deficit of how can we get luxurious without disputes and conflicts. Luxury is not to increase population. We always ask for quality and not quantity. But how do we express that to our cultures and our beliefs and values? Family is important, but we are on a journey to path from this place of the pondering of the mind. We age. Aging is wisdom, not the wrinkly of the body, because even the baby comes with wrinkles. Aging is increase in wisdom. When we increase in wisdom, the earth begins to look so small and everything begins to look valueless. Wisdom is amazing, but what is wisdom if you have to leave someone behind? You have to be the teacher or a reminder for the other to become equivalent. Our movements, the purpose of our movements is not to segregate, but for us to become one. We look not for divisions, but unity. Mama Rosa Parks' story is not to encourage us to stand for what we think is unfair, but rather how we approach unfair laws. It is not about changing unfair laws, but how we approach them. We must be aware of suppression is not the solution. For one with arrogance can only push one with low self-esteem to the edge, to the point where they could lose their minds into the worst than what it is of knowledge deficit. Why we struggle with conflicts all over the world. She only raises a point. Raising her eyebrows was not to enable another wrong, for two wrongs don't make right. She was only trying to express how far and frustrated she is with the problem that is not having a solution. If someone has the solution, can they just say it? Was her point. If you have the solution to the problem, just say it than stressing. Everyone is different. Not everyone can reason like each other. We all have special gifts. Some are skillful with their hands, and others with their minds. Let us work together. This segregation. Let us find a way to work together than pressing on each other. Seeking for answers, not just being treated like robots. The boss can follow orders in such manner, but not a human being. Yes, you're trying to help the blacks to educate themselves, but know the limit, especially when it comes to a woman. Black women in general have gone through a lot when it comes to the women history. Next month is the Women's History Month. We know we all come from Africa, our origin, and it originates with a woman, a black woman. When you see a black woman, you see not just a black woman, but a woman with history of ancestry. When you relate with your story of your ancestors, you begin to realize you're more than just a person, but generations. Some are able to perceive that before others. The courage to stand for the right of a woman is not because we are already complete, but rather raising eyebrows. We are frustrated. We need help from the men, not to be jailed. Thank goodness for those who were able to comfort her and many other women who stood for the civil right, being black women. This is Black History Month. Talking about the bus boycott. And the Montgomery Improvement Association march against unfairness, we may say, but rather an emphasis for solution to the problem of being segregated. What is black race? What is white race? In the first place, it's not about segregation by the whites, but rather what is this segregation among us being whites and blacks? Human race is supposed to be one. What is this division of color? Talking about this march brings me to Cameroon, who will be celebrating the Youth Day, February 11th of 2026, the 60th Youth Day celebration, if I am correct. Correct me if you can, please. And this is the United States of America Black History Month, 100 years celebrated. What a sweet 16, if you ask me. 100 years of Black history celebrating, and 60 years of the Cameroon Youth Day celebrating. Cameroon Youth Day came to celebration on the same day when the northern and southern Cameroon had the referendum. according to the British. They were part of the British administered trust territory. And at this time of enabling countries, a part of Cameroon, the northern, the northwest and southwest, mostly, were to join Nigeria, but chose to join Cameroon. And this day, the plebiscite was what was marked significant event of this 11th February, and that was in 1961, before 11th February of the youths marching. Why is it about the youths? Plebiscite is division. It's all about division. And so, to resolve division, it takes learning, it takes education to understand why we struggle with these divisions and placements, like in the bus of the white race in front and the black race in their own section. Last year, 2025, the Youth Day of Cameroon theme was youth maturity and responsibility for the consolidation of peace, security, economic growth, so on and so on. Expressing the enlightenment, our journey to eternity of battlefield free, of none left behind. This journey did not just start with us. We've been playing, walking without knowing, to knowing. In class, before you know, you have to learn, you have to practice. We have been practicing to now knowing what our goal is of traveling this road of enlightenment from the dark age to the golden age today. Black History Month, reminding us it's about the enlightenment of the mind. It takes education, and it takes both of us, white and black, male and female, parent and children. We cannot boycott each other. But while we march, it's only a pause to ponder upon the difficulties we face, especially when it comes to the point where we are pushed to the edge by our own selves, frustrated. We need to calm ourselves and think before we take the next step. We pray that it does not cause conflicts. Today we are faced with dismantling not just the segregated buses of 1955, but also healthcare, workforces, and how we transition complicatedly working on our minds to expect it. Hope we really reflect on this message and upon our surrounding happenings for the betterment, of a tomorrow. It's all about the enlightenment of none left behind. We are the human race, solving our segregation of all areas of our existence. You need not go to the ocean to know what water is like when a drop is sufficient. Thank you for listening. Royalties of peace, stilling the storm, back to peace that has no storm, while looking on to perfect peace. Happy Black History Month 2026, 100 years celebrating, and the US is about to be 250 years. This should be a lot of clue for us to understand. We are at a turning point that should not fall apart, but reach its perfection of the mist in which our ancestors repose. Peace work, fatherland.